All right, guys, in the Mazda Miata RF this time. We'll link to my review of the regular Miata at the end. This one's a little different between the hardtop, which I will talk about some of the benefits, why I like that better. It kind of does give you the best of both worlds. Only up the price as much as you might expect. It makes this car even a better value because there just aren't that many hardtop convertibles in this price point.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me feel alive.
Especially if you have a cool color, this is just amazing, and it's the same metallic outside. Nice chrome handle here. This carbon look trim, leather, here. This is actually a nice interior. It's got the stitching up there. A very nice sporty steering wheel. These gauges are very easy to read. There is a bit of a blind spot in this car. The mirrors handle it pretty well, but it's still, I would get the blind spot monitoring 100%. Bose speakers there. These seats are fairly comfortable. You could definitely take a long trip in this car and be just fine. You do get the chrome surrounds on these gauges here, which is nice. I like the feel of the shifter. It almost feels like a manual, especially when you do manually shift it yourself, or of course you can use paddle shifters here, which are fairly quick, as we'll discuss in the drive review. For you, there's a sport mode button, which I leave it in most of the time unless I'm just cruising on the highway. And then chrome surrounds for their infotainment system here, which is a good system. Bright screen, very crisp, very clear, very easy to use. I enjoyed having that. No glove box down here, but the nice stitching does continue over to the passenger side. A very nice place to spend time. It does have a little bit of storage here as well. You can fit a few items down in there, as you can see, which is neat. Dual cup holders here, which you can take out if you're not into drinking in the car. This is your glove box back here, which you can fit gloves in pretty much. These seats, as the logo indicates, do have the Bose speakers built in them, 2 in each seat, to give you that surround sound. And with the top down, it's very nice. Very comfortable seat. Also looks pretty nice there. Let's check out the little belly of this beast. Unlike on the Speed, it's not quite as cool to look at, but it is a nice looking little 4-cylinder, and it's set fairly far back there. Was one thing that I did notice about that with Mazda Skyactiv technology, of course. That time in the review, gonna get a little cold start and exhaust. Okay. Trunk space, I thought it would be cut into a lot more with this hardtop convertible, but it's not bad. You can fit things in there. It's very deep as well. I don't think I could fit in there. You can fit some luggage, maybe some golf clubs, because it does go deep both ways, like a single set. And then this is your tire pressure kit and things like that. So it does have some storage, which I thought was commendable given it has a hard top. You could argue, is this a Targa? Is it a hard top? To be more Targa though, because there are those permanent pieces back there, which I think make it look great. This one's the automatic. As Mazda automatics go, this is a good automatic. It's pretty quick. You do lose a little bit off having the manual, but if you live where you're sitting in a lot of traffic or doing a lot of hills, I definitely get the value of the automatic there. Anyway, onto this hardtop. It is quieter. It seems to make the car a little more rigid, just having that. And it makes it more livable overall, and there really aren't that many detriments except a little extra weight to the car, but it's still one of the lightest, most nimble, tossable cars out there. So A+ on that. Steering on this car, great. Brakes, great. The power numbers, give it, if you know, if it could have 200 horsepower, it would be a quick, fast car. Right now, it is just a, you know, it's enough power. It's enough to have fun, but it's not enough to like really have fun. If you've ever driven one, you know exactly what I mean. I know Mazda has the technology. They have turbos in their SUVs now, and they made turbocharged engines before, like the Mazda 3 Speed and some Speed editions. So bring that back. I feel like it's much like the Toyota 86. That chassis could use 250 to 300. This car could use 200 to 250 and still have enough chassis to keep up with the power. Anyway, let's go for a drive. Flip the camera and I'll talk about how it drives from there. I'm getting the non-club edition, which this is not. I would definitely get those Bilstein shocks, because you have to basically angle the car into a corner early to get, you know, everything else to grab. Whereas with the Bilsteins, you don't have to do that. And you don't lose that much ride quality or comfort either. Good paddle shifters on this car, pretty fast, unlike some which are slow. Great brakes, very you know, aggressive, good turn-in. Tires are thin if you want to drift. The stability control gives you a little bit of play, especially when you put it in sport mode, which I have it now while I'm paddle shifting, but it also tightens up the steering quite a bit. And it tends to make it a little louder because it'll hold gears longer and whatnot. The steering on these cars, the turn-in is just very immediate, very predictable. Makes it feel great in these turns. Here's a nice little sweeper here. Well, yeah, like I said, that lean is unavoidable without the Bilsteins. That would be the one upgrade I would do to this car if you want to save a little money and not get the club edition. But everything else about this car is truly sporty, and I know Mazda did that on this intentionally. They gave a little sway in the suspension. I just, in a sports car, which I consider this, I don't personally like that. Alright, so the RF definitely changed the entire look of the car. I like the rims on this guy. Very, very nice looking. Yeah, this is just a, it's gone from a good looking car to a beautiful car. Even in the back here, it's almost like this slopes out more. And the lights actually work really well in the RF version too. So in my other review of this car, I made the point that it would be kind of hard to live with as a daily driver. It just was a little bit too hard to get around. I know people do it, and it's their only, not only their daily driver, but their only car. More power to you. It's definitely a lot easier with this hardtop one. So would I buy this car with my own money? I definitely would. I mean, there is the issue of the power and the softness in the suspension. Softness in the suspension, swap out the shocks, shock absorbers to something a little more firm, problem solved. And then you have a really, really fun, capable little drift track handling car. It's also beautiful, I think, especially with the RF on this top. Mazda's made a good looking car, just great looking. And the price, you know, isn't bad, especially if you can pick these up used. You know, they fall down into the 20s, which is a heck of a bargain for a car that handles this well, that puts this big a smile on your face. So good job, Mazda, there. In my Fiat review, which I'll also post at the end, I said that it had the double line top. It had a little bit nicer interior. It just had you know, the turbocharged engine. I think the RF, though, makes me second guess that. I would say probably the RF just makes this such a more capable, livable car. I would probably get the RF over the Fiat. This car look as good as the Fiat. Looks are subjective, of course. So it makes it more, you know, quiet on the highway, and you know, you can actually listen to music, use that Bose stereo. Also, a few unique features to this one. It has a color screen down here, which I'll show you. Regular Miatas have just a monochrome screen, so it's kind of nice to see the little colors, especially on the temperature gauge. Here is that screen, so you have the tach in the middle, as any good sports car should. Speed over here, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And then there's this color screen here. It gives the red and the blue, and then as you cycle through information, you get some colors there as well. It's a lot brighter and it just looks a lot better overall. Really, you get 37 on the highway with this car, 26 in the city as we've been doing. So not bad at all. Car reviews get interrupted by catapults. As you guys know, I love Miatas. This is the second Miata I've reviewed in addition to the Fiat. So I wanted to kind of tell you about a cool app that I came across. This isn't sponsored, I just thought it tied in well with the video. Let me show you. It's called, well, Miata. Alright, so you open the app up, it shows you a picture of a Miata, and then people have all sorts of posts about Miatas. There's quizzes. You can rate the app. I will give it 5 stars and say I love it. So you can follow different accounts of friends you have. You can get alerts. There's even a Miata chat up here. Shows you all sorts of Miatas. You can put your car in there. You can enter a certain community. DFW's Cars is on there. You can have a garage. So here's kind of like their featured communities. So it's super cool, really nice interface. And yeah, you can just talk about Miata. So go check it out. It's on the App Store and Android Play. Well, next time, my speedy racers, drive on.